Good morning, guys, and welcome to another project. Sunday morning, not the usual one today. You see who I've got with me today? Look, oh, you recognise this bloke, don't you? Some of you will, anyway. This is, of course, Red Card Roy
Yeah.
McDonough. How you doing, son?
Fine, mate. I need a good memory to remember me. Don't worry about that.
Nah. Of course, we've got Pete with us. How you doing, Pete?
Very good. Nice to see you both. Nice to have a threesome. Not the first time you've had one, Roy, is it?
I knew
It's
that was coming before it even started.
it's funny actually, Pete, because obviously everyone doesn't know yet, but they will. Uh,
Yeah.
we had a bit of a technical issue this morning, didn't we? And for once, it wasn't you.
I know, yeah.
Roy lives about half an hour away from me,
Yeah.
and in the end, he had to come down in his car because it couldn't get him on fucking Zoom, But there you go. But for those of you, I was just talking to Roy actually about just while we was waiting for you, Pete, about like when he first came. But before that, Roy, you was at Villa, weren't you?
You know, when you get older and I'll become a manager or a player manager later on in my career, I look back now and people ask me how things went, like yourselves, Birmingham City, blah, 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 Villa, politics. And me being in my own imitable, innocent way, I want to be a footballer. I gave my all as a kid. I've said to people, when I signed professional forms with Birmingham City, I'm guessing 10 million kids would have swapped places, mate. But in my heart, all I wanted to do was get in the first team and play for Birmingham City, my homegrown club. The Villa thing, Ron Saunders took over the summer I left school. And just quickly, I had a signed contract from 14 years of age by myself, my dad, Frank Upton, the youth team coach, the scout, Eddie, what was his name? Eddie, lovely bloke, and the manager, Vic Crow. The day I left school, I signed apprentice professional for Aston Villa. Well, that soon changed because Big Ron came in. There was 9 of us got contracts, me, Gordon Cowans, and 7 others. And the first 7 went in, all come out crying. Everyone thought me, top player in Warwickshire County for 3 years on the trot, top goal scorer, blah, 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 and Gordon Cowans. I went to see Ron. He said he saw him for 20 minutes on the training bed. That's all he saw of me. He'd obviously seen my record. And he said, "You're not up to standard. We're not taking you." And Steve, I thought, all the others cried. I wanted to punch him.
Yeah.
I wanted to give him a right hook. Anyway, I walked out not crying. So the lads thought I'd signed. Gordon obviously got his contract because his mum and dad were given a big detached house in Sutton Coldfield as the youth hostel to get his signature. So, yeah, so that was on the Friday. On the Monday, I went to Birmingham City, Damson Lane, and I was off, I say off and running. Scored 2 in my first game. Never played with these lads before. On the Tuesday, on the Saturday, I scored 2 against Paul Dyson, Garth Crooks, Stoke City. Made 2. So in 2 games, I scored 4 goals, 2 assists. Ease the politics.
Didn't you have a few office places as well? Then?
Every club,
Because you lived in Solihull, didn't you? Live by me, didn't
every club in the Midlands wanted to sign me as a schoolboy. So I must have been half decent. But
Yeah.
here's the politics. So on the Monday, my dad phoned Don Dorman, God love him, the chief scout, who had been chasing me for 2 years. And he said, "Well, what's going on with Roy? He scored 4 goals in 2 games. He's obviously, it looks like he can do the job." He said, "Well, just a bit concerned. Is Roy going to mix?" What I used to do, Pete, I used to get off the van, at the Wheatsheaf, Coventry Road, walk all the way back to Alton Solihull, which was a trot, maybe 2 or 3 miles. I had no money, so I couldn't go to St Andrews and get the bus home, which is a major trot, because I had no money. So I spent 4 days after that, when my beans on toast with the apprentices, cleaned a few boots. I signed on the Friday.
Please. What do you remember, Roy, at that time? Do you remember him coming?
Well, obviously you'd buy the programs and you'd see his name mentioned, but I actually remember with your debut up at Sunderland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you play at the back?
No, Steve just asked me that. I could have played at the back, but what they did, Kenny Burns dropped. Nah, Joe Gallagher had an injection. Burnsy had an injection, didn't work, so Burnsy couldn't play. So I went centre forward with Trevor. In my 34,000 Roker Park, I'm just saying to Steve, as I walked out the sun, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, this is why I want to be a footballer. All the hair stood up on my arms, the noise was immense.
And you got Trev by your side, of
Me and
course.
Trevor.
Well,
Right,
you know what I like, I mean,
yeah,
I remember that game for lot of reasons, sort of thing. I mean, like I was 16, I'd just started work, so I was able to start going to away games. But the atmosphere at that Sunderland game, obviously, like they were scrapping to stay in the league at the time. We were pretty comfortable. But it was all about flipping Jim Montgomery, like, because obviously, like
it going back to his old club.
Yeah, the return of the big hero, like. But I mean, he played a blinder that day, Jim. But they was flipping cheering his saves, like, and everything. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah. The fans were immense, Pete. Up there, I played at St James's Park, and the fans are fans. And yeah, Birmingham City had St Andrews got an atmosphere, Villa Park, all of them. The fans up there, mate, just seem to go to the next level. That's Newcastle and Sunderland.
Well, pre-season that season, Pete, because like they played a lot of games at Damson Lane then. And Roy was just saying he scored like a handful of goals with Trevor.
Well, Pete, back in the day, we'd have 5, 6, 7 pre-season friendlies, but you would play a first division club. For argument's sake, we played Sheffield United at Damson Lane, the full Sheffield United first team, and at the time Birmingham City's full first team because they hadn't signed Keith Birchin. I was up front with Trevor. We scored 2 each. Over 5, 6 games, we got something like 15, 16 goals between us. So, Pete, in my head, I'm thinking I've made it now. I scored the last game of the season at QPR against Frank Clinton, Dave Webb, far post header. And in the pre-season, I'm thinking, well, I can't do much more than do what I'm doing, scoring goals with Trevor. And they signed Keith Birchin. Looking back, politics, Pete, politics. Sir Alf knew Ipswich Town directors and the board of directors. With the greatest respect to Birchin, he's a great kid, got on really well with him. He couldn't trap his foot in the door, mate. He really couldn't. And I remember he went 14 games without a goal. I scored 3 hat-tricks in the combination.
I was just saying to Roy, Pete, that Birchin, he got a funny gait, hadn't he? And his timing in the air at times was awful, wasn't it?
He probably, sorry, Pete, it was where I used to pride myself on heading things and pride myself not having a centre back ever dominate me, certainly in the air. I was only 6'1". Birch came along and he mastered the act of going under the ball.
Yeah.
And Pete, I think whether it's a God-given look at I remember Mark Hughes at Man U, one of my heroes. When the keeper kicks it off the ground of the 6-yard box, I will tell you within a millisecond that ball's going to land there. Mark Hughes is exactly the same. So what you do, Pete, you stand your ground, get your arms out a little bit, send it back, don't let them come past you, because I know the ball's going to land there. You'd bring it down on your chest or your thigh and bring midfield players into play. I think that was a skill. Bert's skill was he'd run under the frigging ball and miss it by 3 yards.
Yeah. That was a great description of Birchin. Like, he had this great way of jumping
and missing the ball.
Yes.
Before the ball again, and was on his way down as the ball had come up.
And he could jump, mate. He could jump, but always mistimed the frigging thing.
Exactly, but I'll tell you what, though. I mean, he scored some. He couldn't, heading weren't his forte, but some of he was as brave as like with his diving headers. Some of the diving headers he scored were absolutely awesome.
He used to live off worldies. He lit a 35-yard left foot half volley. Go, where the frigging hell that come from? Bearing in mind his touch and tackle, we used to call him. First touch, second touch was a tackle. God love him.
Yeah, he's a good lad, I mean, he Keith Solihull, of course.
That's great, Keith. He'd admit it now. If you asked him, he'd go, could have been better at that. And really, he ran. He was a good runner. He wasn't like a Mark Hughes or a Shearer who would back in and hold the ball up and bring people in space. Birch always wanted to run the channels because he had good legs. Yeah. And guess what, Pete? It's easier running the channels down the side of centre backs. Easier.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, he didn't have a flipping goal celebration on him, though. He was like bloody Forrest Gump, weren't he?
Yeah.
Hair.
And what about his Barnett? He had his haircuts were amazing.
It's a bit different there.
He's not bald as a badge, isn't he? Serves him right.
Yeah. Mudgy, you was looking like a German porn star at the time, weren't you?
Funny you should say that. It's been mentioned before. And you know what? Later on in my career, I think I could well have been a German porn star.
You were, but
yeah.
Oh, you're not German.
but so obviously, like, you know, I mean, we've because Kenny Burns had moved on, hadn't he, to make way for like Birchin had come in. As soon as Birchin had come through the door, did you think, well, I'm wasting my time here?
You know, Pete, can you imagine an 18-year-old kid? And I said to Steve the other day, when I signed professional, my tracksuit top and kit was number 55. So, Pete, there were 54 players in front of me in the starting 11 or trying to get the first team. I was in the first team in under 15 months. But that, looking back, Pete, was my drive, desire, not just to turn up and make the numbers up. No, you want to be in the starting 11. Don't they put me on the bench? Later on in my career, people put me on the bench. I should wreck the place. Think, what are you doing? I'm not coming to sit on the bench. Put me on the bench, I'll wreck the place. So they won't put me on the bench anymore.
Yeah. So you're quite well known for some disciplinary issues, aren't you?
You know, again, we talked on the other day. Listen, I'm not the biggest. I was certainly not the toughest. People say I'll be up there with Billy Whitehurst. Good God, man, he was hard as frigging nails. Birmingham City had one. Nick Harford. Don't mess with them boys, mate. Don't say a word. Bosh, you've had that broken nose, cheekbones gone, whatever. They looked after themselves and just did the job. I think, Steve, I did the same. Yeah. But what I did, like a bit of a dickhead, I would look after teammates also. So if the little winger's having a bit of a problem, or, you know, the midfield was taking liberties, I'd say, leave it, don't worry. I'd either knock them out in the tunnel, or I'd leave one hanging on them somewhere in the middle of the game. So after maybe the first 6 or 7 cards, I thought maybe calm your jets, mate, but it was in my DNA, and I would protect. I probably took 5 or 6 red cards protecting my own teammates, but that's the way it is.
Yeah. Because we were talking about this, weren't we, about the tough players at that time, you know, like your Dave Mackay and people like that.
Johnny Giles.
Yeah.
But back in the day, Lee,
they're different now.
I'm sure you boys are watching a bit of the World Cup. I'll watch bits here and there.
Yeah, some.
There's people going down now. See, Pete, in my day, if you went down and showed you was injured, your whole team would pick you up, threaten you, get yourself up now. Don't make us look like a bunch of pussies here. We're tougher than them, and we'll get our retribution. But you could not be shown to show any pain whatsoever. These days, it's you look at it, I go, what on earth's going on here? You just dig an hole and stick them in the hole. It's frightening.
It's a different game for sure. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with the World Cup at the moment about these water breaks, isn't there? You know, it's like the game has changed. You know, the game's changed beyond recognition, isn't it, Pete?
Yeah. How much did it used to cost you to get flipping for your fines to get when you was getting booked and sent off?
You know what, Pete? The best example I can give you, and this is over my career, mate. It cost me thousands. I can't deny that. I was at Walsall Football Club when politics again. Ken Oliver left Birmingham City, worked with Sir Alf. Ken went to Walsall with Alan Ashman, became first team assistant manager. Within 10 days, I've signed from Birmingham City at Walsall Football Club. What I should have done, Pete, was gone on loan. 19, just signed a 3-year contract with Jim. Excuse me, with Jim Smith. Smithy fancied me as a player, and all of a sudden that happened. And I found out that 4 months ago, Pete. Excuse me. I thought I went for 15 grand, and the Ricky Sprague had a joint deal, 30 grand deal. A lad from Walsall, who's well in with the literature and the running of Walsall, posted on Facebook my contract. Pete, I knew Jim Smith copped a few quid. That hurt me at 18 off 19. Didn't deserve that. I know Smithy copped a few quid, God love him. He copped more than I thought. I thought he copped 3 grand, he copped 5. The deal was 20 grand for me. I saw the whole deal. So 15 went to Walsall Football Club. I wonder where the other 5 grand went. I know exactly where it went. Smithy's back pocket. Mm. Now, looking back, 19 years of age, 3-year deal. Smithy literally should have said, Roy, go on loan. Because the Saturday I made my debut for Walsall, we beat Swindon 4-1. I made all 4. Buckley got a couple, Don Penn, whatever. Trevor ruptured his knee tendon, out for the season. Birch broke his leg, out for the season. Yeah. And I've been sat there 7, 8 times, 13th man, been on the bench a couple of times, that close to getting in the starting 11. But again, politics, Jim Smith couldn't be seen to play me in front of Birch. He just spent 140 grand on him. So they made himself look a right dickhead.
Got signed him, got someone to do with Alf Ramsey.
Exactly. Sir Alf was in cahoots with Ipswich Town directors. So guess what? They've all copped a few quid. So again, I was offered late in my career, Pete. Maybe we'll touch on it later on. The politics, it's sport, it's professional football. The politics off another scale. You don't realise half of what goes on.
I mean, I suppose agents weren't so much of a thing back then, was they? Or did you have anyone looking after you?
Yeah, then the best example I'll give you, that was a massive mistake. I could have blamed Dad. Go on loan. They'd have called me straight back from loan. I'm straight in the first team at Birmingham City. I'd done the job the season before. I could do it at that level. I'd have scored a handful of goals. I was good assists with Trevor, blah, blah, blah. I think I'd have had a career top level. But then I dropped down to Division 3 with Ken, because Ken Oliver rated me, blah, blah, blah. And then just went up, down, all over, got smashed all over the place for 2 seasons with Warsaw, went to Chelsea. Another thing about politics. Best year I'll give about agents. This will be about 82, 83. I walked out on a 4-year deal at Chelsea. Sir Jeff Hurst was an absolute knobhead. And his assistant manager, Bobby Gould, another knobhead. I called them the Chuckle Brothers. They nearly finished my career. So after 7, 8 months, I walked out on a 4-year deal at Chelsea, went to Colchester United. Cut that story short. Later on, I went to Southend after I had a couple of years there. I right up the assistant manager in the car park, which didn't go down too well in the 5-side. So I'm going to be leaving Southend United. So, Pete, I'm playing snooker, Colchester High Street, Colchester Billiards and Snooker Club. I was half top of it. I'm getting my first 50 break. Now, being competitive as I want that 50 break, because you go up the bar, you get a plaque. It's by the CBSC 50 or whatever you score, right? 30 mid 30 break. The internal TV screen come on. Roy, it's Jerry Francis on the phone for you, right? I take the call, Pete, in the public phone booth behind the bar. They're all paying for their snooker tables, getting beers, glasses are clattering. I'm now organising my next transfer from Southend to go to Exeter in the public phone booth, right? So I gave my word to Jerry. This is on a Wednesday. Come down Thursday, Roy. I'll give you money. I asked for a few quid. Come down Thursday, sign. I was living in Colchester. Then I'll meet you late Orient Saturday. You'll make your debut for Exeter City. Yeah, he's playing manager Exeter City. So then I got the CSP, finished me, get 57 break. So I've got this little plaque, 57. I think that's not to be laughed at, blah, blah. Bing, ting on the internal TV. Roy, it's Theo Foley on the phone for you. Millwall Football Club. George Graham's number 2. So I went, I was like that. God, stop this. He said, no, Theo Foley. So I go back down the stairs, public phone booth, beers, paying for table, 4 quid, blah, blah, blah. Theo said, George wants to speak to you, Roy. Me on my own, right? George Graham, who was the manager of Millwall. I went, Theo, now my head's spinning. I've given my word to Jerry. If he gets me 15 grand over 2.5 years, 7.5 grand up front, Reddy's, Pete, a lot of money in those days to me. I'll give my word. I said, I'll give my word. I'll go and sign for Exeter. Theo, does George want to speak to me or does George want to sign me? So Theo, being smart ass, George wants to speak to you. Okay, Theo. Well, mate, I've given my word. If Jerry comes back, we may not speak again. Can I ask you once more? Does George want to sign me or does George want to speak to me? George wants to speak to you. So, Pete, what the hell would I do? Put the phone down, public phone booth. Hey, mate, you phone your mum now. Hey, I put your 10p in, you phone your mum. When the piece playing snooker. Cut that story short. We get relegated. Millwall get promoted. Jerry was a disgrace. Jerry was a big fat lump of lard. Jerry was a disgrace. So you know what it did to me, Pete? I went, forget that. Went bang on the booze, draft Stella for a year, pissed for a year, did me 7.5 grand signing on fee, and probably shagged half of the university birds. Because what it did, the lads used to laugh about you in the dressing room. You want recognition. Now, if you're a drinker, you're in the drinking squad, you're one of the chaps, Pete, in the dressing room. I always liked to be here because I was big, strong. I could run it off. Then you start shagging the birds as well. So now Wednesday morning, Thursday, Friday morning, big man, how'd you get on? Threesome, yeah, they're unbelievable, them birds. Them 3, yeah. It was frightening. So the recognition I got, because I'd lost all self-respect for myself as a footballer, genuinely for about 4 years, drinking, shagging. And I was the best at that. So I got some recognition in the dressing room.
Yeah.
And a 57 break as well.
Yeah. I went on to get a better break than that, to be fair, Pete, but I hope.
Yeah, but obviously, like it's totally different. It's a different sport now, isn't it? But you've had like some pretty good managers around you, haven't you? I mean, not necessarily good, but
Yeah, no.
well known. Like
I mean,
Alf Ramsey, for instance. And
I think in the book, or someone put it in a press report somewhere, I'm the only player out there ever that's played for three England World Cup winners. Sir Alf Ramsey, Sir Jeff Hurst, Fred Carno's fucking circus, Sir Bobby Moore. I'll take that. I'm chuffed about that. And another one who rates me, I see his lad now, Danny Greaves, who I played with Danny at Southend and Cambridge. Jimmy Greaves has come to a lot of the games at the time, at Root Tour. And he put his arm around me one day, said, "Big man, I thank you for looking after my Danny on the pitch." He said, "But you're a player." He said, "Utmost respect for you. You're a player." I'll take that from Jimmy Greaves all day long.
Yeah. You're quiet, Pete.
So
Can't get wordy.
I was just sort of like thinking, I mean, obviously, I only played flipping Sunday league football, so I had the drinking side of it, but I didn't have the shagging side of it.
What
about this, Pete? What about this, Pete? I'm playing for Raggy Arse Rovers, in my humble opinion. My self-respect had gone after Chelsea, really. I got all the married lads on a Thursday morning Colchester. "Big man, how's you going last night?" "Yeah, I had a picture here, I've had her." And that is just to keep them going, the married lads. So I'm at Exeter City, dog and duck, really, pissed. And I come out the nightclub one night. This is a decent story, it's in the book, on my mother's life. So in my car, I've got three girls, right? Now, I've had them all before, but they're in the car. The two in the back, Pete more life, start fighting. Because they want to be first. They don't want to be first to be dropped up, means they ain't going to get rogered by me that night. So the two in the back, I've got the girl in the front. And to be fair, Pete, she was the dirtiest, to be fair. She did dirty old, but nice looking, dirty old thing. Them two got no chance. They were fighting in the back of the car over soppy bollocks.
Oh
So
man.
It's a different world now, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. Like I say, I mean, I got that thing about you didn't want to let anybody know that you was hurt, because that used to go on when I was playing, and then you'd go and flipping cry afterwards. But it was that whole thing, like we used to get fined £5 when we if you got a booking. I mean, £5 in the days, it was 5 pints. Bloody hell,
that's at least.
Yeah, but
Hey,
I mean,
Pete, hey, Pete, so just going back to me and Ian Atkins, Ian Birmingham boy, was not assistant Terry Cooper at Birmingham for a while. I grew up with Ian. We ran a team. Crikey, what were they? Stanley? No, not Stanley Star. It was Villa.
Stanley Star's Villa.
I'll tell you what was this. What we were called. And me and Ian were the managers. My twin brother played. My second eldest and my eldest brother played. A couple of the Acker's mates. Blah blah blah. So we turn up one Sunday. We're playing the Reddit Showman. Bunch of fairground workers. Seriously, we're a player short. So Ackers looked at me. I knew exactly what he said. "Will you play, big man?" I went, "Fucking hell, Ian." But because he didn't want to play because the Showman kicked 7 bells out of him. Cut that story short. 25 minutes. That was red card 23. I had to give my twin brother's name because the club got fined. 50 quid it cost me. So I'm playing for our team, Sunday team, Ackers, with the manager. We're top of the league. I've got sent off against Reddit Showman. So that's 23 red cards, not 22.
there you go. There you go, Steve Walsh. You've been done there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Brilliant. So, out of them 23, was there any that you think, well, hang on, I've been done here because of my reputation, or did you think you deserved them, or?
It's a good question, Pete. People have asked me. I'm proud of one. Trust me. Very proud of one. We played Newport County at Southend. Sir Bobby Moore's the manager. I think second or third replay in the FA Cup. And Southend, big club, really nice ground, but crowds were crap, and we struggled a little bit. We played Newport County at Roots Hall. So before the game, Sir Bobby had me chatting to a couple of lads. Stevie had to centre back, Jim Stannard the goalie, about Tony Pulis, who obviously went on to have a decent career as a manager. Crap player. So the game previously, Pete, he spat in my face about 8 months before, right? So Sir Bobby heard me saying, well, if I get a chance, mate, I'm going to decapitate him. And Sir Bobby went, Roy, lovely. Bob was such a lovely man. He went, Roy, please don't let me down today, boy. We need 11 players out there. We need to get a result because it's money for the club. I said, Bob, don't worry, mate. You can trust me. I said, but he'd spat in my face, so obviously I'm carrying a bit of vendetta. 7 minutes, 32 seconds. Right in front of the dugouts at Southend. Dugouts are here. There's the director's box above. There's the tunnel. Pulis takes a touch, left foot. Hits his calf, hits his knee, hits his thigh, hits his chest. Pete, it's about neck high. I went, excuse me, I went, fucking lovely. And it was just when Bruce Lee entered the dragon. So it was Kung Fu Charlie's everywhere. You got all the kids doing their Kung Fu's, right? Carrying that. So I thought, perfect. So I launched myself at the ball, 2-footed, Kung Fu style, clipped the ball. My left foot went over Pulis's right shoulder, glanced him, and the other one glanced his other shoulder. I went straight over his head. He's gone down like a sack of shit, obviously, as though he'd been decapitated. I wish the fuck I had decapitated him because he'd spat in my face the game before. So I just got up and walked off straight down the tunnel. So Sir Bobby could trust me for 7.5 minutes.
Oh, bless.
And, I did. I touched the ball.
Did you ever bump into Pulis again? Like, you know, did your paths cross?
Yeah, I'll crikey a few times. He just kept out of my way. He knew, to be honest.
Yeah.
I had a couple of people like that. John Beck, another one. But, you know, again, that was me getting involved. I mean, I got sent off. I was the player manager, Pete. We played Rochdale away.
Where was that?
I was player manager at Colchester.
Colchester.
So at half time, it's 2-2. I've won 2 far post headers. I've got a 19-year-old kid up front with me. I'm player manager. We're in the old 4th division, halfway up the table. 3 centre backs. Alex Jones was one to press him at 6'3". Steve, someone with a big German porn star, and Alan Reeves, who I see Alan there. The whole team talk at half time. I'm the player manager with 2-2. Fred Barber was in golfers on loan from Peterborough. What was the lad's name?
For Walsall, didn't he? Fred
Yeah, Fred. The right back, what was his name? Black lad. If I get it, I'll say. But the right back was also on loan to Rochdale from Peterborough United. The whole 10-minute team talk at half time was getting me sent off. That was the whole game plan. That was from the manager, Dave Smith, and the other bloke was Mick Doxey, number 2. So after that 20 minutes, I took the bait, elbow Alex Jones, went down like a sack of, I'm off, right? But the whole team took, they told me in the bar, keep getting at it, take it in turns, 3 setbacks against 1, keep getting him at it, and he'll go. And as I'm sat in the dressing room, Pete, whee, I thought that's 3-2. Whee, that's 4-2. We got beat 5-2. That's obviously all pretty fault, but that was can you imagine? The whole team took, just keep digging into him because he'll take the bait eventually.
Which that sort of thing with the red mist, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, and self-preservation, mate. You have to, when you're sent forward, listen, I'm still an handsome bastard, let's be honest, I'm still an handsome bastard.
Yeah.
I was either lucky at what I did or good at what I did. And what I used to do, I'd jump and put arms up and you protect yourself. And that's what I must have been pretty good at it. No one broke my nose. I've still got all my teeth. And I'll put my head in, mate. Ask anyone, I'll put my head in everywhere.
I don't think they need VAR, we?
No, of course not. But I'll put my head in. I was classed as brave because I thought that's the least you can expect.
Yeah, but that's right, though. I think there's not enough bravery in the game anymore. You know, it's a completely different thing, isn't it? You know,
it's not a game still.
No,
so this World Cup now, Germany scored a good goal. Now, just driving up to come and see you, I'm thinking, we play Ghana. Ghana will give us a game because they'll park the bus. Like Congo played the other day and they played the other, whoever it was. The team who Germany beat 2-1. Ivory Coast. Mate, they're all great suspect. They're all dark as black as your hat and they can run, they're super athlete. But when they park the bus, Pete, you've got to break that down. Now, if they've got half an ounce of discipline, they're fit boys. They're not running 70 yards breaking into the box. They're parking the bus. Right, now break us down. And so what the manager says is, right, okay, we'll take 35 passes, backwards, sideways, square. No risk at all. Sir Alex, when Scholes is there, Beckham, risk, reward. Is the reward worth the risk? Scholes pings a 70-yarder, Beck's one-touch cross, initial goal. Actually, yeah, the risk was worth the reward. We've just scored another goal.
But
there's no risk.
But like, interestingly enough, like you talk about that, like with Birmingham now with Chris Davis, you hear, a lot of the fans now are like sideways, backwards. But but the point of it is, though, right, what you just said is right. You get teams now play with five at the back. They go with a low block, like the old parts of bus.
Yeah.
It is difficult to play through it, and it just is. It doesn't matter how good you are unless, and if they defend deep enough, you can't go along with it.
Yeah.
So, it is difficult to break through.
What,
and people just don't get it because the modern game now is so different, isn't it?
You know what? I think Pep's a genius. I've read his book. I watched the documentary, All in All, or whatever, Man City, and listened to the bloke and his energy, his enthusiasm, and his knowledge. He's changed the whole of world football.
Oh, yes.
But the reason being, he overloads that side, Pete. 2, 3. He wants every time a player receives the ball in his team, 3 options, minimum 3 options. When they overload that side, the reason is to go from there, boom, boom, that way, because then technically, if the touch is good and the ball comes in, it creates a goal-scoring opportunity. All these other wankers, Ruben Amorim, Man United, raped the club. You've got all these managers, they play from the back, Pete. Do you know why? It's fucking trendy. They don't know what they're doing. They haven't got Pep's brain. Pep goes overload there, asks the player, he gets loaded there, quickly go there, ping, ping, it will create a goal-scoring opportunity. That's why Pep plays his way. I watched Aldershot Town the other day, trying to find Southend on National League to see what the score was, blah, blah. Aldershot Town playing Boreham Wood. They were playing from the back like fucking Brazil. There's a reason you play for Aldershot Town, with the greatest respect. There's a reason you're playing for Boreham Wood or Barclay Town, whatever, or Brackley Town. It's because you're not really that good. Here's an old adage for keeper. Keeper. Why is he in goal? Because he can't frigging play. They're doing Cruyff turns now, Pete, in the 6-yard box. Here's another one watching it last night. As a centre-back, show him inside with the shout. Show him inside from the manager. Full-back, show him inside. What happens, Pete? The ball comes into the number 9. It goes across. You are now facing the player and the ball. There's no threat. The threat is down the side or behind you. So show him inside. Don't have to say that anymore as a centre-back because they just show him inside anyway. So all the danger is taken away if you've got decent centre-back. The best goal you probably see this World Cup, Germany's second goal last night, the lad went ping, fizzed it into the lad from about 20 yards. He took an unbelievable touch on the half turn, hit it left peg, got the winner. But that, not being funny, Pete, that was world class. How often does that happen in the game these days? Because it was perfect. On the training ground, you stop and go, right, in you go. In you go. That's enough. He pinged it, he shaped him with his side foot with pace, and the kid, it bounced just in front of him. But Steve, the bounce helped him cushion it out of his feet to hit it on the half turn with his left peg. Frightening. And here's a quick one, if you think about football. Morocco ain't going to be far away, Steve. Morocco ain't going to be far away.
No.
Switzerland ain't going to be far away. A couple of these other...
Did you watch the Dutch tournament? Oh. No. I mean, that's 5-1. I mean, it was never a 5-1 game to me. Did you watch it, Pete?
I only saw a bit of it. I was watching bloody cricket, believe it or not.
No, the cricket was decent.
Because I didn't know, I should have known, the Sweden manager is Potter, isn't he?
Yeah.
Potter.
Graham Potter, the bluffer. Hey, but Pete, what about this Morocco? Do you know why Morocco will have a great chance in this World Cup? Rodri received Ballon d'Or last season. Do you know why? And looking back, see, it's fine. Rodri's clever. It's a bit like Scholes. He receives it. Every time he receives the ball, he's either side on or he's aware of what's around him. He'll let it run across him. He'll go out the other way. Watch Morocco play. Every player receives the ball side on or is open up to go either way in the pitch. That's now classed as frigging world class because they receive it. Listen, your basics are as a midfield player and a centre forward if you can. Get your body on the half turn or side on. You get the player defending against you the furthest away from the ball and get side on. Now that's classed, Pete, as frigging world class. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Can I ask you something, though, Roy? I mean, listen to you. It's absolutely fascinating. Like, how come you never progressed your managerial career?
You know what, Pete? It's if I thought about it too deeply, I'd get too upset. I won the League and Cup double. Politics, right? When I get the sack, the manager, this is a fact, or the money man, Peter Hurd's his name, vice chairman of Colchester United at the time. Every board meeting, Pete, and I'm playing. We played the semi-final at Macclesfield on a Friday night to get to Wembley for the first time in the history of Colchester United. 105 years. We're 3-0 up from the first game. I've scored the penalty with 4 minutes ago to make it 3-0. And I'm thinking, when I put the ball on the spot, I'm thinking, the only one I missed that season, Pete, was that end. I smashed it over the bar because I had to move back against Morecambe with 3-0 up with 5 minutes to go. No pressure, didn't concentrate, smashed it over the bar. So when I put this ball on the spot for the semi-final, FA Trophy final, take us to Wembley at 3-0, they're going to get 3. As I put it on the spot, I went, Canal, the only I've missed this end was this end, right? And I missed, in the end, I just smashed it in the top corner, blah, blah, blah. So with 3-0, we're not ever going, they ain't get 4 to stop us taking Colchester to Wembley for the first time in their history. Cut that story short. We're in a board meeting, and every board meeting, Peter Hurd would sit there. 4 directors, Peter Powell, Robert Jackson, Charlie Simpson, physio, God love him, not with us. Graham, what was his name? Not Graham, what's his name? Gordon Parker, alleged manager. Peter Hurd is running the show. At the end of every board meeting, you go like, okay, gentlemen, how much is it this month? And you go, ching, 22 grand. So you sign a personal check, put it there to keep Colchester United, the club, afloat, blah, blah. The next one, it's 29 grand, Peter. Yeah, no problem, ching. So guess, by the way, Pete, this year I'm going, this ain't going too well. The chairman loved me. He was younger than me. Said, Roy, got no money, just do what you got to do, blah, blah, blah. Cut the story short, I get the sack. After the deal was Reg Burr at Millwall, chairman, Peter Hurd, Colchester United, chairman, now, do business together in construction in London. Reg Burr offered him 2 players. Tony Dolby, 50k. Carl Emberson, goalkeeper, 50k. Including contracts and wages, it's a $250,000, Pete, deal for Colchester United. I'm going, I don't want it. Dolby's a little jinky winger, and Carl Emberson, keepers at the time, you'd get him for tops. So I went, at the board meeting, I went, no. I'm digging off myself, Pete, looking back, but I was honest and true to myself and the club. I went, no, I don't want him. Oh, so Roy, this voice, Roy, so you don't want him? I went, no. I said, in 6 weeks' time, fact, the free transfer list will come out. There'll be 500 players on that list. It means you can get them for free. In 6 weeks' time, guess who's going to be on that list? Tony Dolby and Carl Emerson. You're asking me to sanction the biggest deal in Colchester United's history for 2 players will be free transfers. I said, so Peter, with the greatest respect, don't want them. Guess what? Guess what? 5 weeks later, 2 lads on free transfers, got the tin tackle. And you know why? And he said to me, I wish I'd been 6'4". I've had the scrap of my life with if that 4'6" like Mr. Magoo. He went, Roy, you know your biggest problem? You're too honest. Cut that story short. So why I didn't career, I went to Dagenham and kept them up. And I was classed in my day, Pete, and I don't know if I'd get on these days, gregarious, outgoing, outspoken. Nah, it's the truth. And football that should come from here to this day. If it comes from here, your truth, your feelings, your heart are all laid out there. I thought that's what you did in sport, Pete. Maybe I maybe got it wrong.
Well, the problem is like it's not just sport. It's business, money in it, you know.
And imagine this. So, just to finish, Pete. So that summer, 500 players free transfers all over. My team at Colchester signed free. All my ex-mates, I knew them, so I knew I was going to get with them. Every free transfer you get, Pete, is a problem. Don't care who the friggin' hell they are, you're signing a problem. Number 501 on the bottom of that list. That summer, I was about 34, 35. Roy McDonough, 600 whatever games, ex-player manager, had success with 0 money. Who's going to sign me? They lose 5 games, I'm in the building to take the job off them. I was unemployable, Pete, in a roundabout way. Which again hurts a little bit, but I hope.
You know, I mean, like, how would obviously would a Roy McDonough, the manager, want to have his team full of Roy McDonoughs? Would he?
Say that again, Pete. Sorry. Well, listen. Here's another quick one for you then. So, if you ask me about managers, when Jurgen Klopp left Liverpool, energy, enthusiasm. Sorry. energy, enthusiasm, intelligent. When Liverpool won the league under Klopp, they were intelligent, energetic, enthusiastic, played the way they did. Pep Guardiola, stylish, he is educated, he is quality, he is. Yeah. How do Man City play? Stylish, quality. They impose themselves on people. Great example. Then you look at some of these other managers, you think, well, they reflect the manager of the team because they play and they're like a bag of shit. Are you with me? And that's where now these idiots go, well, we'll play from the back. Don't know why, because they haven't got the brains. But any team, when I was the player manager at Colchester, when we were on the league and cup double, we had the record yellow cards, Pete, and the record red cards. But that team reflected me because I was a winner. And let's be fair, you're on the pitch, you're going to bother putting a kit on and run around for an hour and a half. You want to leave your bollocks on the pitch and give everything you've got to get 3 points. That's a given. Not these days, Pete. They walk off the pitch, half of them. They could take the kit off, put a suit on, go and stand in Burt in the shop window. There's no sweat on them. When was the last time we saw any blood or claret in the Premier League? 10 years? 15 years? I don't see any. So something is not quite right.
Yeah, it's that thing that we said a couple of weeks ago about like like kissing the badge and all that. I mean, it don't mean anything, does it? I mean, there was a time when you get players that would want. It's like you're from Brom. You'd want to be playing. Somewhere where you live. I mean, it's like things me and you would die for that, wouldn't we, mate? Just to play 2 games, like Roy, for Blues.
Absolutely. I was just thinking though, like, I mean, obviously the fitness levels are completely different to how they were, but it didn't stop you having a good career, did it?
You know what? Here's one. Think of this. I'm playing against 2 centre-backs, and in self-pride, they're both 6'1", 6'2", 6'3". Any ball's coming to your feet, you have to protect it to show the team they can trust you with the ball. The first 5 or 6, straight through the back here, wallop, have that. Take another touch, mate, you're getting another one. They try and impose themselves on yourself, right? But when you're watching, you see now, you think, well, I don't really know what the aim is, because the fitness, I'm not having it, Pete. They're no fitter than us. The reason we play, though, when you've got a dead leg, bloke's gone straight through you, he smacked through the back of your calf, his knees hit your knee, and you got to carry on because you can't show any pain. At half time, you get it sorted out with injections were shocking in our day.
Yeah, there's a lot of injections.
The cortisone was scandalous. Yeah, I got away with a few, but anyway.
Big Ron Harris had a nightmare with that.
Mate, I had Tommy Smith.
Yeah. Oh, Tommy Smith, yeah.
But Pete, now they just clop around. If anyone leans on them, they're on the floor wrong, they've been hit by a double-decker bus. You know what? I don't know. For maybe a month, let's go back to the good old days where you could go through people, you'd win the ball, the follow-through in our day, Pete. If you were soppy enough and someone rolled a ball to you and it's just got out your feet, here's the thing, as a brave player, you tackle the middle of the ball, full body weight, Roy Keane, Steve McMahon, middle of the ball, boom. The one with the biggest, toughest car or quads, who hit it, timed it, you go through the ball and you win the ball, go through the play. If they were soppy and they left the foot hanging, the follow-through, Pete, was a gimme. If you were soppy enough to leave your shins, it was a gimme. Now, you just cannot move a millimetre. So you ain't telling me the players are bigger. They ain't. Are they braver? No, they ain't. Are they fitter? Are they bollocks? They don't have to deal with all the physicality we did and still finish 90 minutes. And by the way, every pitch they play is like a carpet. How the fuck do you miscontrol the ball on these pitches? But they do.
Try playing on the baseball ground on a wet winter night.
Done it.
Did you ever take a dive to get a penalty though? Or was that not in your mind?
We played on the South End on the penalty taker, Bristol City away. Bit of a scrap, Ashton Gate, decent crowd. We were fighting halfway down there. They were decent, I think it might be top of the league. It's 2-2, right? So the ball gets laid into me on the half turn, because I was half decent on the half turn, so I'm receiving on the half turn in the 18-yard box. And just as I towed it, Pete, I see the fullback go to ground. I thought, no fucking way. This is as a pro win. So as he's going to ground, he's going to follow through. He's going to clip my right foot, whatever. He cannot not hit my right foot, and I'm going to have to go over. Bearing in mind, Pete, as I took the ball on the afternoon, I've touched the ball too fucking hard. It's going out for a goal kick. But in the corner of my eye, this is a pro though, you go, and this is going back 35 years. I thought he's gone to ground, the prick. He's slide tapping me. As I've told the ball to knock it past him, I've told it too. He's going out of play. He's gone straight through me. I went, I'd like to say I scored the penalty. I'd like to say it was a penalty. Did I dive or did I earn it? I think I did a bit of both. I earned the penalty, gets 3 points then. So without being a fucking monkey that dives and pirouettes and rolls around the floor, but you can still be clever. If the defender's stupid enough to go to ground for one in the box, you see it now, mate. It's frightening. Bearing in mind, Pete, I watch the so-called defending, even in the World Cup. These clubs, every professional club has a full-time defensive coach. These clubs have a full-time goalkeeping coach. They have a full-time midfield coach, striker coach. When I'm playing manager at Colchester, I did the old kit and caboodle.
I took ball coach.
I took the keepers, Pete, because I was sub-goalkeeper. So I knew the drills. If anyone got injured, I'd do to go and goal. They're full-time. And guess what? They still ain't anywhere near, I don't think, as good as in our day, where every challenge you was battling to stand your corner, battling for your own physicality to stand your corner. It's the last 90 fucking minutes.
Mm.
Roy,
Yeah.
I put Roy's got a twin brother. What happened to your twin brother in terms of his career?
Well, that's a tough one because my dad's cheeky bugger. When I was 14, Gaz played for the district team, but not the county. Blah blah blah.
So which district team did you play for? South
Warwickshire.
Oh, Warwickshire.
Yeah. So, but it's a pretty big county, and I was the number one player. Eddie, what was his name? Eddie. I'll tell you his name in a bit. The Scouts. So anyway, cut the story short. Dad went, when I'm going to sign schoolboys in my house, Gazzy sat there, and my dad said, well, look, Eddie, weren't Eddie, you keep thinking Murphy, but that's a fucking acting, it was Eddie, whatever. He said, before he signs, he won't sign it till you give his twin brother a chance. This is at Villa as a schoolboy, a trial. So I went, where the fucking hell's that come from? So I didn't sign there and then, till my twin brother got a trial, and Dad wangled it that we both signed at the time for Villa. Yeah, because
Did he play what position did he play?
He could play anywhere. He could go right, he could go left. You know what he was, Pete? He's a lovely kid. To this day, he's my twin brother's a lovely kid. But I said to Steve the other day, it's the edge. He could go any direction. He didn't play for 3 years when Villa released him. I went straight to Birmingham, obviously. The edge, the drive, the desire to want to be. He had the ability, but he hadn't got the edge. So if someone took the ball off him, Pete, he'd, not to worry, he'd let him brush him aside and go off with the ball. If it was with me, I'd scratch, kick, bollock, bite, whatever I had to do to stop him getting the ball off me. But my twin brother, God love him, that's what he hadn't got. And I remember we took to work, went to a place in the sun with coaches direct, took the girls there. And one of the girls said to him, my twin Gaz, said, Gaz, what do you want to be? Wanted to be a professional footballer. He spent, because he hadn't got that niggle or that edge in him, he spent 21 years following me around the country. God love him. Good kid. But that's the difference, Pete. Now,
I
think now we're in a different class.
You can't flip in training to someone. It's either there or it isn't it?
Pete's DNA.
Desire is different.
Well, you think I signed thinking, Jesus, I'm number 55. That could take me 2-3 years to get the first thing there. Thinking, I don't fucking think so.
Well, it's that thing, and it's like, the dog in the fight, it's the fight in the dog.
Yeah.
That don't matter how big you are, how small you are, You've seen it yourself hundreds of times, particularly playing football, You got them, look at Billy Bremner, he's a dirty little bastard.
Johnny Giles. Yeah. Johnny Giles was infamous for being one of the toughest around. Because guess what? He had great ability and good skill, good vision. Guess what, though? Because he had to, he looks after himself. Or he could get bullied out of a game, but that's, you watch it, you go, that's the DNA, that's the edge.
Well, that's one of the Blues' claims to fame, because he started off at Man United, hadn't he? And he'd come up against a bloke called Johnny Watts, the Blues player for us, and Johnny Watts had done Giles in the first minute. And he says that was the alarm, there was an alarm bell went off in Giles' head. He says it's all about getting your revenge in first.
Yeah, of course.
And that was he said it was the best lesson he ever had. So thank you, Johnny Watts, for turning Johnny Giles into a dirty little bastard.
So it's like stamping your authority with your ability, your extra drive and desire. You want to run past. Right, listen, great example. One of my all-time heroes, Roy Keane. Jesus Christ, he never ever stops. Not just doing his own thing. He'd ask more of Beckham. He'd ask more of Giggs. He'd ask more of Scholesy. You could see, but that edge. That's why at 99, 2000, pound for pound. Bearing in mind you've got Pirlo, Zidane, Iniesta, Xavi round the world. The number one midfield player in the world for a couple of years was Roy Keane. He could tackle, could head it, could score, could run.
He got that nasty side, Roy, as well, hadn't he? You know,
I genuinely think.
I mean, we spoke about the Haaland tackle last week, didn't we? You're like, you know, well, I don't know.
Oh, so be it. It's just life.
He'd look nasty. Like, you know.
And the thing is, the truth is, Pete, they keep going on about Roy Keane finished Haaland's career. No, he didn't. The leg he did, his other knee, finished his career, not the one he. Keane, it's the outside of his right knee, if I remember right. What stopped Haaland's dad's career was his left knee. But Keane would have that because 18 months he kept that grudge because he'd done his cruise ships at Ellen Road, hadn't he? Mm. And mate, touch wood, there was no cruise ships in our day. The fuck happens there? There's cruise ships everywhere. But to snap that, and your ligaments about that thick, Pete, down the length behind your knee, that holds your leg together. Snaps. That must have come Keane. Pardon the pun.
Takes some balance. It takes a bit of doing to snap a cruise ship. Yeah. I mean, never seen cruise ships in, or maybe you did, but they were recognised as that. You know,
is the so-called the way the game's changed, and how the F do they do a cruise ship on these pitches? Two things: the studs in the boots are too big; they overgrip. The turf now in our day was a bit slippier. And crikey, excuse me, I don't even smoke. The moldage we had, or either, you'd slip. So if you overgrip slightly, you would slip, and that would take all the pressure off your knee. You do your ankle ligaments a bit more often. Ankle ligaments ain't like a cruise ship. Now, the pitches, you get your foot stuck in the ground. Lad went off last game of the season. I think it was West Ham. And his right foot stuck in the ground, all his studs, and his foot never moved, and his whole body weight, bump, went straight through his knee. I went, that's a cruise ship. I was in a Bartlemanga. I said, just done his cruise ship there. Because when it's in, because the studs and the way they are, they don't move, they don't slip. In our day, you were actually, you were glad to slip. Matt Letizia played 18 years. I played 21. That's just shy of 40 years professional football. I played every level. Matt played top level. Training, playing. Not a single cruise ship in nearly 40 years of professional football between me and Matt Letizia.
It's an interesting one, that, isn't it, really? When you think about it.
That's a lot of games, a lot of training, not a single cruise ship. And that, for me, they say, the game's better for it.
Sorry, Pete.
I was asking Roy, what was the worst injury he ever had himself?
To be fair, I had 5 operations, Pete, but over 600 odd games, I'd take that. Probably the worst thing I had, my left knee. Bearing in mind, think about that as well, Pete. After every football season finished, I was the opening bowler for my cricket team, fast bowler, and I'm slamming my left foot down. It was all whip and body. I played for Moseley at 15, Pete, Moseley Cricket Club. I could have gone that way, the cricket route, blah, blah, blah. But my right knee, we played Swindon away. Listen, this is good. It's in the book. I drive home from Southend on the Friday. Sir Bobby Moore, Roy will meet you at the county ground next day. Swindon at the top of the league, we're mid-table. On the Friday night, I've driven up from Essex. The lads are going down the pub. And I'm thinking, well, fucking hell, I can have a few pints, can't I? Because I did anyway. Cut that story short. I've had about 7, 8 pints because I could get up late and get to Swindon with my dad and my twin brother. There's a little dolly in the bar, and all my drinking mates from school had all been trying to shag her, and none of them did. Till the night before Swindon, because I fucking did. And I think I got about 4 o'clock in the morning. Cut that story short. Dad's driving to Sweden. He said, what time do you get in the house as we go past their bedroom? He says about 4:30 in it. I went, what the fucking hell was you up to? I said, well, Dad, she's a little sweetheart. And all my, so I thought, well, I've just had to fucking Roger her, right? Cut the story short. 20 minutes in Swindon, Colin Calderwood centre off.
You got to,
Ah, of course, Colin Calderwood went through me and he caught me left
Who?
leg. Colin Calderwood.
Calderwood, yeah.
I went, fucking hell, that come a bit keen. Anyway, you carry on. Don't show you get hurt. We drew 2-2. I hit the bar the last 5 minutes, bearing in mind, I'll tell you in a minute, to win the game 3-2. But my knee was fucking banging and banging away. Early second half, I've gone up with the two centre backs, Calderwood and I can't remember the lad's name. He used to wear rugby boots. They've knocked me spark out. So I get not stretching off, I get helped off the pitch. I come round after about 90 seconds, Pete. I'm walking behind the dugouts at the county ground, Swindon. There's a big stand behind it. Arm round Sir Bobby Moore, arm round Harry Cripps here to clear me fucking head because I've got to go back on. And that's it. If I'd got fucking smacked in the head, I might have scored the header because it won against the crossbar. But to cut that so short, my left knee on Monday, Sir Bob said, well, have a couple of days off, come back Wednesday, for training. Don't worry, because you're with Midlands with your family. So, of course, my knee's fucking banging away. Cut that so short. I had 2 knee operations on that left knee, 21 stitches in an open wound, but they blanket stitch it so it goes back together better, right? Anyway, 5 days in, this is the old medical in my day. 5 days after, I've come out of the hospital, had it all done, private hospital, blah, blah. The physio took me on a fucking 8-mile road run. And I'm running in tennis balls. So guess what happens again? The bone there where Calderwood caught me, that used to rub together and it would build up a bigger lump there, started instantly. We all went on the road run. So 2 years later, I had the same operation again. That could have finished me, really. Looking back with how medical was with us.
Mm.
The rest, no, you play with injuries, and you no such thing as being injured, nowadays.
So, your book, how long has it been out?
10 years.
Yeah.
At least.
It's a good read. Anybody that wants to get hold of it, Red Card Roy, it's called, isn't it?
Bestseller.
Still available?
You can get it on Amazon or bits and bobs, yeah. It was a bestseller. John Motson, God love him, he read it in a day and a half. I used to get given 10 books a week, he told me, because he opened this. When I did the book launch at Southend, John come on stage with me for an hour and a half for nothing, by the way, because he liked the book so much. He read it in a day. He said, best book he's ever read. So I'll take that from John Motson. Good on you.
Yeah. Did you have someone co-write it?
Yeah, Bernie Friend worked Bernie Friend worked for the News of the World, the Sunday People, the Daily Mirror in Canary Wharf in London. He was a Southend fan. And I was his hero as a kid, Steve. And he phoned me one day, came to the Algarve. We did 14 hours on a little recorder thing there by the pool, just drinking beer. And he just prompted me, like we're doing now. And he said, Roy, your memory is unbelievable. But I still remember, it's all bollocky, but I remember everything. And he said, what he did, Pete, he'd do a chapter, send it to me. He'd email. I add that there, add this there. The censors had a big slice of it because there's things they couldn't obviously put in the book, which is a shame. But no, bestseller. It was good. My brothers say, Roy, it was like sitting, as we are now, in a bar, listening to you tell the stories.
But they're great stories, aren't they? Because they're not like, I personally think it's great listening to the lower league stuff. You know what I mean? Like somebody who's played everywhere, that stuff's proper football, isn't it? Yeah. It is, definitely. I love that sort of stuff.
Well, go back to Swindon, top of the league, and Sir Bob, go on, Roy, go up and see your family. I saw this bird, I went, and all of them, about 9 of the lads, I'd all tried to get me knickers. I went, fucking, I'm having that. And I did. They're all devastated. The next day when I see them after the game, they went, I said, yeah, no problem. Please.
Ladies, if you're listening, right, just, but this is a long time ago, right? Things have changed a bit. I'm just wondering what Beck could say.
Let me tell you this, Pete, quickly. I went in Essex, right? And Essex has got this reputation. This is word for word. Fact. So I signed for Southend. And obviously Colchester was university, Cambridge University, Exeter University. If you had a £20 note, mate, you was home and dry. They all thought it was fucking Rothschild because you got a few quid. Southend, in our day, Pete, you've been there. You might have 7 or 8 your lads drinking in the bar and then 3 girls over there. You make eye contact. Then the lads go, all right, big fella, she likes you. So they're on you because you made eye contact. So in our day, you think, fuck it. She's quite tidy. I'm going to have to walk over there, say hello to her, maybe get her and get her a drink of beer, right? Southend, mate, if you made eye contact, fact. I'm going back 30 odd years. It could be worse now. If you made eye contact with a bird in Tots, South End, talk of the South, if 30, 45 seconds, you hadn't gone over, she was over. Poke you. You're all right. Going to get me a drink? And then you look and go, you are going to take me home. In other words, you're going to fucking shag. So I'll get you a drink. Of course you would. So I couldn't live in Southend because I would have shagged myself to death.
Sound a bit like Fox and Grapes, Pete.
Yeah, I was just sort of like thinking when Roy's on about Southend, my experience of Southend was somewhat different. We'd gone down on we was going to play him on a New Year's Day, and it was we just nicked Barry Fry as manager, and obviously the flipping hated him, so we thought it'd be a great idea spend New Year's Eve in flipping Southend. Oh, like we weren't very welcome. Let's put it that way. They flipping hated us.
Yeah.
You can't hide that accent either, can you?
Really? We've got no chance. That's the thing. I mean, Southend,
didn't it?
Some of Southend, Pete, is nice. If you know where you're going, Southend used to be quite a nice little town. Not anymore.
Yeah, but they just wanted to kill us basically, like because of all the bad blood with the Barry Fry stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Right, lads, listen, Pete, go on, say what you're going to say. We've got to wind this up in a minute. Can't say what we could go on all day,
Absolutely.
Go on, mate.
Just wondered who you had the most affection for as a football club at Colchester or Southend, if you had to have one or the other.
Definitely.
You know, it's a tough one, Pete, because Sir Bobby Moore, I gained my self-respect back on the football pitch because of Sir Bobby Moore.
Yeah.
It's after about 3 or 4 years of just drinking and shagging, and luckily I'm still here, really. He gave me my self-respect back, Bobby Moore, so I'll always be grateful for that. It's a fact. Obviously, they're local rivals. There's only one player ever in the history books of both clubs down as a legend of both clubs. That's me. Obviously, we did the League and Cup double at Colchester. Southend had 5 or 6 good years there. I've been funny. I had a little moody up about trying to get the job this summer because last year I did an after dinner when Kevin Mayer was doing quite well there. But you always know eventually the manager's going to get the sack. I said to Justin Reese, the owner, Australian, lovely bloke. We got him famously. He spoke very highly of me at the dinner before I did the after dinner. And I said, if there's any problems, speak to me. I said, I'll turn this club upside down. Because all this bullshit stuff had changed straight away. And he said, no, Roy, thanks for that. I'll keep you in mind. But of course, I'm fucking 1,500 miles away and they give it to Kieran Dye. I hope Kieran does well because it's a great club. So in answer, Pete, I'm down in the books as a legend for Colchester and Southend, which I'm grateful for because they both like me. So I couldn't really pick.
Yeah. And it's a shame, you're a legend in the nightclubs in Solihull, but it could have been so much different if you had stopped the Blues, because we would have loved a player like you who wore his heart on his sleeve, like,
well,
you know what I mean?
When you are really, or you would have been, like a typical Blues player, because that's what our club's about.
But when you think that, Pete, when you put a shirt on, I see some of these Man United players last season under Ruben Amorim thinking, how the fuck have you got the cheek to put that shirt on? It's Manchester United. Absolute bunch of bluffers. But unfortunately, for me, I look at the game now. Is it much fun? You don't see players laugh and smile and joke anymore. Everything's so fucking serious. And, have I got my can of drink and I've got my strap on here and have I run enough yet? If you run enough, you keep running past in, get the box and cause problem.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, really.
Yeah, bless you. Anyway,
listen, go on, Pete.
Last one.
Yeah, I was just saying, it's been absolutely brilliant to have a chat with you, Roy.
Anytime, mate. Anytime.
It has. It's been great, and Roy, it's absolutely seriously to listen to his story, mate. If you listen to it, I spent so long at the pub a couple of weeks ago. And it's absolutely great because I did tell Pete for once. Two things really. Once he might find somebody who's just as challenged about new technology as he is, and number two,
well, that's easy. Yeah, that's
I said to him, you might not get a word in. It's usually him that does all the talking.
You know what's quite nice, there, Pete? I do not so much, not the modern day game, but I get excited still talking about stuff. I remember 2004, I'd just come over, European Championships. We got knocked out by Portugal. Rooney broke his toe or whatever. I was in my local bar crying. I was in tears. Not fucking anymore. I'm in tears of frustration. I really am. England beat Croatia 4-2. First goal, penalty arse, and then you get a retake, which I haven't seen a retake for 25 fucking years. Then here's one, Pete. England and all go, it's coming home. They take a corner. Bloke stood in the fucking 18-yard box, got 60 goals last year. I know what I'm going to do, Croatia. Let him have a free fucking header. Seriously. The third goal should not be allowed. But Bellingham, I'm sorry, should never score from there. Everyone's going, he's coming home. Croatia up till half-time with a better team by country frigging mile.
I'm not, I'm not convinced England are going to do anything, to be honest with you. But, you always get it. It's coming home. We've had it for like bloody 50 years, haven't we? You guys,
Do you know?
You know what I mean? Cortiga.
Go on.
Argentina.
Nice. I wouldn't mind in Morocco. Look out for Switzerland. They move the ball really well. What they're inventive, like Morocco. Whereas the other wankers just go backwards, sideways, and square.
Listen, peace. Thank you. Yeah. Pete, thanks for coming back. It's usually us that have to get you on, but it's been great having you this morning. So I know we've had to overrun a little bit, but thanks, Pete, for being here, and Roy.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
mate.
Brilliant, mate. Nice one. And yeah, right, peace.
See you, son.
Thank you, everyone, and listen, we'll see you next week. Bye.